Have you ever thought about Sweden's king, Karl XVI Gustaf, and especially that he is the 16th king named Karl? No? Well, I have, and when you look at the royal list of kings on the monarch's website, there are only 9 kings with Karl as their name, and the oldest being Karl Sverkersson. But some kings are missing here, like Håkan the Red, so we can probably take a quick look at Wikipedia, but still, just 9. Then I remembered, of course, that Sweden has a list of kings called Kungar, or legendary kings, who aren't usually or at all counted anymore. But still, no luck. But this is Wikipedia, so maybe I will find something better in a real book. This is Våra Kungar från äldsta till våra dagar, or in English, Our Kings from the Oldest Times to Our Days, from 1972, written by Åke Ohlmarks, who has a list of all Swedish kings from the legendary Visbur to Gustaf den sjätte Adolf. But as before, only 9 Karls. Again. So we go back even further to 1952 and the book Sveriges Konungar och Drottningar genom tiderna, or in English, Sweden's Kings and Queens Through the Ages. But, same here, no more Karls. But then, I think back to something that flew right under my nose. At the very top of the article about Sweden's rulers, there is a link to a book called Historia, Gothorum Sveonumque, or The History of the Goths and the Swedes. So I bought it. This is a work by Johannes Magnus from 1554. And something that is mentioned in this book by the translator Kurt Johansson in the 2018 version of the book that I have is that kings like Erik the 14th or Karl the 9th use this for their numbers. But this book is not usually considered to be very historical. It's more in the kind of fantasy, or if you want to say it like the super ultra legendary rare kings. So now let's tell you the story of the 6 Karls in this book. We will start with Karl the Sixth and go from there. Karl the Sixth was king sometime during the 770s. According to Saxo, his name was Sorl, which Johannes Magnus interprets as Karl. He took over after his father Herod's death and was basically immediately invaded by the Danish king Ragnar, who is probably Ragnar Lodbrok. This war was about Ragnar wanting to put his son Björn on the throne of Götaland and Svealand. The war was mostly fought through a few small battles until one big battle between Karl and Ragnar, where Ragnar defeated Karl because he managed to get all the Swedish noble on his side. Karl IV became king after his father Håkan, but he lived so short, they wrote about him that fate showed him the world, did not let him to linger for very long, and he was probably king around the end of the 400s to the beginning of the 500s. Came his son Karl V, and nothing is written about him. While Nordian was off on military campaigns abroad, his brother's son, Karl III, was made king of Götaland. At this time, there was a lot of hatred between the Swedes and the Geats. The hatred got so bad that Frode, who was a Danish king, tried to kill Karl's daughter's sons, and that was because he was married to one of the kings of Sweden's daughters, and that was basically the big thing under Karl II's rule, that this Frode ran around and killed a bunch of people in both Sweden, Götaland and Denmark. And at last, Frode killed Karl. After Gutvid, Karl II became king of the Swedes and the Geats. He was said to have been a really good king over the country, whom all the people loved very much, and not much more is said about him. And so, we have come to the first Karl, who we find in a list of 7 kings who ruled Götaland after Erik III's death. He is the 3rd name on this list. It follows like this: Uppe, Ale, Oden, Karl, Björn, Getar and Gert. Only his name remains, no more, no less.